Good morning, y'all. Dom here from Faith Family Homestead. I'm in my kitchen this morning because I am just whipping up a new batch of sourdough bread. I have one in my refrigerator ready to go in the oven, but I'm starting this one so that it could be ready to bake tomorrow. I already have the water, the sourdough starter, and the salt. Now I'm just going to add in the bread flour. This has been such a learning process. I have burnt lots of bread or made it too hard, too soft. So I really like sourdough though because you don't use a lot of ingredients. It's just sourdough starter, flour, water, and salt on a basic recipe. After I make a new bread recipe, I always go ahead and feed my starter just so that I don't forget. So that's what I'm doing now. Now I got all that done, I'm gonna go ahead and get the sourdough bread that I started yesterday and put it in the oven to bake. I feel it coming loose. Ah, I got it! Yay! So let me put this inside the pan. I got it safely in my Dutch pan, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and make a cut right down the middle. And maybe one more for good luck. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the lid on and bake for 35 minutes with the lid on, and then maybe 20 minutes with the lid off. A couple of notes: my oven was preheated to 475 for like an hour, and that sourdough bread loaf was sitting in my refrigerator overnight for a slow rise. So we shall see what it comes out. While we're waiting on that, I figured we can go out to the garden and check on things out there. Wow, there is a break in the rain. That should be exciting. This is the onion that we started the 540 onions in. Right here, I planted some lilies and some phlox. And then here, I just transplanted some ranunculus. I don't have anything right here in this pile of leaves. And I don't have anything in this bed with this leaf right here. But then where this board is, I have some more lilies planted. I didn't know when I was planting my other lilies in the other bed that I still had 3 more bags of lilies. So when I came out here the next day, I saw that they still had lily bulbs in them. So I planted them in this other bed. And then I don't have anything in this bed yet either. These are blueberry plants. I planted 8 of them at the front of our fence. And then all of these leaves lining the gate, I planted about like 450 maybe daffodils and hyanthus and maybe some alliums too. Over here, I just built this bed yesterday, and we have chickens, so I just put their bedding in here and we'll cover it with soil. I also built this one yesterday. My son already filled it with soil for me, so that's nice. It's all coming together. So there is 5 beds. There is 5 beds so far. Actually, there's 6. Actually, there's 6 beds. Let me show you where I have my garlic planted. Actually, and my tulips. I didn't know if the tulips would be safe planting them in ground because we do have lots of deer, and I didn't want them to be eaten when they sprouted. Also, I didn't know what can dig and eat the bulbs before they sprouted. So I decided to plant them in these pools. I have a pool here full of tulips and a pool here full of tulips. And then in the back, what's sprouting is just garlic that we had extra space. In here, I have hardneck garlic. And then down this middle, I also have hardneck garlic. But on the sides, there's tulips there as well. In this little tier, I have strawberry plants. I have nothing planted in here yet. I have nothing planted in here. But then I have elephant garlic here, some more garlic here, and some more garlic here. A couple days ago, I went ahead and started some herbs in this planter I got last year from Dollar Tree. I have like coriander and cilantro. I do have flowers in here, some alyssum, some dill. I know I have lavender, 2 different types of lavender, maybe thyme, oregano. I have herbs in here that basically can do good with the cold, and my hope is that they'll just sprout on their own. Some, like lavender, likes to be cold stratified, and what cold stratified means is that it just likes to have cold temperatures before it warms up and sprouts seeds. And so another way that you can cold stratify is by taking the seeds, sprinkling them on maybe a damp paper towel or on some soil, and then putting it in the refrigerator for depends if your seed packet says 1 or 2 weeks or a month or 2, and then when you take them out, when it heats up, they will sprout. And so I'm hoping that will do that just naturally out here, just sitting with the temperatures. It hasn't froze and it's not going to freeze this week, but hoping that once it does, it will sprout and this will look really nice, filled with herbs and flowers. I just came back in the kitchen because I'm thinking I'm gonna whip up some biscuits. It's already like 10:40 and I know my kids are going to start asking for food because they're hungry little kids. So I think I'm gonna whip up some biscuits because I'm thinking for lunch maybe we could have biscuits and gravy. I have some defrosted sausage in my refrigerator, and so I'm thinking biscuits and gravy sound good on this. It's not cool, but this moist, humid morning. I've been here making the dough for the biscuits, but that's the oven beeping to take the lid off of the sourdough bread. So let's see how it looks. Oh, looking good so far. Now I just have to put this back in for about 20 minutes. With these biscuits, I'm just gonna flatten them out. I just took my sourdough out of the oven and it is looking beautifully. I have the sausage here cooking, but sourdough is looking awesome. I'm gonna take it out and let it cool. Hey guys, so I have my youngest daughter here, Niall. You wanna say hi?
Hi.
So an hour later and I'm finally finished with the sourdough and the biscuits and gravy, so the kids will have something to eat for lunch. I'll probably eat some too. It's gonna be yummy. I am not the fastest cook. I use a recipe for everything. I remember when I first started wanting to learn how to cook, I had asked a friend for a bread recipe and she gave me a bread recipe, and I was supposed to buy yeast, and I had never bought yeast before. So I went to Whole Food, and instead of asking someone for yeast to make bread, I was looking through all the store and I came across nutritional yeast, and I was like, this has to be yeast. So I got a bunch, went home, made bread, and obviously put nutritional yeast in there. It wasn't bubbling anything, but I just kept moving on with instructions. Of course, my bread did not come out good, and it was horrible. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? I think I tried it like 2 times, and then I messaged my friend, and I'm like, man, you know, I put the yeast in it, and she's like, well, is the yeast good? Like, did it bubble? And I'm like, no, it's not bubbly. And then come to find out, I don't know how I ended up saying I bought nutritional yeast. And so I always remember that when I think about baking or cooking or anything like that. So I like eating yummy things. It just takes a long time. So I'm finally sitting here at the table with all my seeds. And yesterday I went through and I was able to organize them. And so I have a pack here, well, a bunch of packs here that I labeled cold stratified, because these are all the ones that like to be cold stratified. And then I have ones right here, start indoors. And then I have another that just says plant directly outside. And so all of these are cool weather flowers or herbs that can be started now and will do good through the spring, the early spring. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I am going to do that in a separate video. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this weekend morning. We do homeschool, but obviously today is a weekend, so there's no homeschool going on, but there is about to be a bunch of kids running around, and the sun came out now, so I might go back outside and see if I can get that bed filled before I start on this. Either way, I wanted to say thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was so much fun, and I will see you guys next time. You want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.